Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brilmann. I'm joined here by Solari, and this is yet another game of Russian LCL Summer Split 2020. And we have Dragon Army against Unicorns of Love, something I've been looking forward to. Hello, Solari.
Hello, Brilmann. Same here, to be honest. I've been really looking forward to the clash of these two teams. But before we start, can you please give us a little understanding of what's happening in the split?
Absolutely, yes. So what we're looking at right now is one of the top teams of this summer split. We have Unicorns of Love that have been able to secure themselves a first place in all of those games that we have witnessed, with Gambit Esports, of course, also being at the first place. And we have ourselves Dragon Army, who is a particularly very interesting team because they have been able to go toe-to-toe with someone who you can consider as a raid boss of Russian League esports, which is Gambit Esports, but unfortunately they have lost in the finale, and Gambit Esports have taken their place to secure them at World's Championship. But this is going to be very interesting because I'm really looking forward to yet another game from Unicorns of Love, because as we have witnessed, they have a very interesting and unique play style, play game. And I am looking forward to that because of a very easy reason. They love to team fight, and I love to see a good team fight.
Thank you very much, Brilmann, for this information. We will be jumping into the pick and ban phase very soon. Very quickly, what do you expect to see?
Well, honestly speaking, I pretty much think that Unicorns of Love are going to go with the same strategy as they went before. That means that they're going to have a lot of good team fighting champions locked in. I guess and I hope that we're going to see some Kassadin from Nomads, because his Kassadin is just amazing. We have witnessed that on the worlds that have come after that summer split, but it doesn't really matter because, as you have probably witnessed, his Kassadin is just insane, and I really want to see something out of that. And from Dragon Army, not exactly sure. I just would like to see some very good answers from them, and we can see it already because they have banned Nidalee, and we have seen an Anasik on Nidalee, also on the Worlds, and we know how bad it can turn up for the enemy team if you leave Nidalee to an Anasik.
Indeed. I would also really love to see some Ornn and okay, well, never mind. We have the picks coming in, so we're going to find out what is going to happen pretty soon. But let me just say that I love how the bans have been focusing on the bot lane so far, because we have 3 deadliest combinations blocked so far. We have Aphelios and Lulu blocked. We have Ezreal and Karma, or Ezreal and Yuumi blocked, and we have Karma Thresh or Karma and basically any tanky support such as Set, for example, completely blocked for both teams. However, there is a very good opening for Graves with this Nidalee ban, because we've seen so far that Nidalee is the biggest threat for him in the jungle in the current state of the game. Just reminding you, this is still 2020, before the preseason changes. So I would really expect to see Graves being picked somewhere in the very first picks. We will see which team will lock him, but so far we have Varus going to the bot lane from the Dragon Army. He's being answered by Sivir. That's finally something new. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we haven't seen Sivir being picked so far in any of the games we have observed. And we have Wukong. Wukong is very familiar to us, very strong top laner. He will probably be answered by Pantheon unless he's going to the mid lane, which I don't think is going to happen. And we have Karma accompanying Varus to the bot lane. True.
Might go jungle.
True. You're right. Yes. So we have
this picks are actually very interesting, because not only we've seen Varus being banned most of the time. Oh yes. Oh yes, this is a Lee Sin for an Anasik, and that is going to be something very interesting, because as we have stated before, Nidalee is one of the primary picks for an Anasik. What is very close to Nidalee and can do insane amount of damage, set up amazing ganks, and be a real pain in the ass for Karma and Varus, because they do have some escapes, that is true, but it's not a Lancer from Thresh, for example. And this is not an ultimate from Kalista. Who is able to do that the best? Lee Sin.
Exactly.
This is just something absolutely great in here. And yes, I absolutely agree. So we have two very unfamiliar bot picks for us right now, as we see Sivir being locked in and Varus at the same time. These both combinations we haven't really seen before. We've seen Varus being almost instantly banned.
Yes.
So there wasn't really an option for any of the teams. And Sivir, I think you're correct, have never been picked yet so far. We haven't seen that. And this really opens an interesting amount of opportunities for Unicorns of Love as well, because in case they love to teamfight, you want this Sivir to be able to teamfight, and no better support can provide you some support in the team fights as Yuumi
Exactly.
does.
I was just about to... Oh, look at this! I was very sure they would be going for Yuumi. That was just my suggestion for a perfect combination for Sivir with more speed for the bot lane. But no, that's going to be Bard. I think we only saw Bard once so far. So I'm really looking forward to this game. It looks like both teams are just trying out something new.
This is going to be incredibly unusual game, because if Dragon Army are going to lock in that Fiddlesticks, and they do, we haven't seen, I think, Fiddlesticks before, and Karthus is being also picked.
Imagine the gank and the team fight potential from Dragon Army right now with his Fiddlesticks, with his Pantheon, followed up by Karma and Varus, and finishing everything with Karthus. This is such a beautiful combination, to be honest. Everything seems to be working really well.
This moment, like, take a bit of your own medicine, take it and swallow it. And this is going to be very interesting, because that means that they want to bring the fight into the same fields for them.
And that's interesting, because that's usually Unicorns of Love strategy. They love to answer to their enemies. They love to give them some taste of their own medicine. But now Dragon Army is doing exactly the same to Unicorns of Love. Finally, they're gonna get someone answering them.
And is casted in for Nomance, and oh my god, this ban phase. I have a feeling that Dragon Army have played this ban phase and draft pick much more better than Unicorns of Love. But just think about the possibilities of this game. Both teams are going to beat the living out of each other.
We made a little mistake in thinking where Pantheon would go. This is Pantheon mid lane, and this is Fiddlesticks top lane, and this is Karthus actually in the jungle. That's going to be epic. If I'm the one to say, this is going to be epic.
Yeah. This is going to be something absolutely... Well, I don't think we have ever seen Fiddlesticks go into the top lane in this season. I mean, it is probably true that we have seen Fiddlesticks before. I'm not exactly sure how much am I mistaken or not on this, and I unfortunately don't really have a magical person in my ear who's going to tell me that. But it is 100% sure that we haven't seen Fiddlesticks in the top lane. And against Wukong, that actually can work. So, from what we can see right now, a bloodbath just like the previous game. And I want to see that bloodbath.
I really am looking forward to the team fights from both teams, and I really want to see how Unicorns of Love are going to play in this situation, because as I said before, they are usually the ones to answer the enemy team. They are usually the ones to try to come up with something to reply to whatever the enemy team has to show them. But this time, they have actually kind of been outplayed on the pick and ban phase. So I wonder what the team spirit is at the Unicorns of Love, and I really wonder what they're going to show us in the game itself. And let me, as usual, do a little magic and throw you right into the game.
Go ahead and do that, as we are going to go into this Summoner's Rift. That is the first day of the second week of Russian LCL Summer split, and that is Dragon Army against Unicorns of Love.
Oh, this is going to be a beautiful game. Can I also pay attention that Karthus is taking the Red Lantern instead of Ward on the first level? That's something interesting. That's trying to get a possibility for ganks, but also trying to outplay Lee Sin in case he needs to convert gank. That's interesting. I like it. really, Dragon Army is here to try to outplay as much as possible from Unicorns of Love. They're trying to work from Unicorns of Love pick, probably, not even from their own. But we'll see how it's going. I might be wrong here.
I have a feeling you might be correct on this, because as far as it looks right now, they just gave themselves that point that they need to outplay Unicorns of Love on the draft pick. Both teams right now are extremely nervous. I can feel it, because that is an invade from Dragon Army, but it's not going to find anywhere of pleasure for them, because they're going to take that blue buff from Ananasic. That is going to be a little bit of a drawback for him, but they won't be able to find any kills. And look at this! We have a swap coming from Unicorns of Love. We have Wukong taking Noman's playfield at the mid lane as Noman's approaching top lane to fight against that Fiddlesticks. This is going to be very interesting.
That's really interesting. That's something I expected to see, meaning Wukong against Pantheon. However, I think on the top lane, Nomas is going to have a hard time before he hits level 6, just because Fiddlesticks is a champion that can hit you from quite afar. Kassadin can kind of do the same, but his range will be, and his possibilities will be a little lower at this point compared to Fiddlesticks.
And what do you think? Are the both teams going to drag it into the late game and try to not get the opposite team in trouble? Well, never mind. What do you think? Because right now, Nanasik just has to pull himself away from that blue buff that he's tried to answer to the Team Dragon Army, but he's not able to do that. And I'm going to ask my question one again. What do you think?
I think they both will try to finish as soon as possible, even though both teams have champions that would only benefit from getting the game to last as long as possible. But I think both teams are looking here for a very strong rush as early as possible, and just to try and demolish the enemy team and get the enemy nexus just ASAP.
And who do you think has the better chances right now? Because looking at it, Dragon Army have done an explicitly good job at trying to shut down an Anasik, and that is something you really want to do, because if you shut down the enemy jungler, that means that you won't be able to get any help for your team. And that is a problem, because we know Ananasik is really, really tempting in his ganking potential. And I mean, you see a lot of very, very chunky possibilities for ganks over here, as we have skirmishes all around the map right now, as Santos is going to probably get to be caught in here, but it is not going to matter, as Sonic Waves coming from an Anasik, not going to be able to kill that Karma. But here comes Boss just trying to demolish Karma, and it works as he skews his way into the victory, but probably he's going to be able to get here right now. Sonic Wave coming from Lee Sin, trying to get that sweet Cortez, but going to be punished for over-aggression by that Pantheon, and that is an exchange 1-for-1.
Exactly, that is a very good exchange for both teams, actually. But going back to answer your previous question, who I think has more chances to win right here, I would say, despite of the having probably a less strong pick than Dragon Army, I would have my bets on Unicorns of Love, just because we have seen this team in action and we know how explicitly good they are in the team fights. And I'm pretty sure that they have all the potential, even with their picks, to take the most of any team fight they will manage to get from Dragon Army, either by them just dragging the Dragon Army into any team fight, or just answering to them, as we know, love to do.
I guess I'm going to agree on you with that one, but one thing that I just really want to point out, even though Boss was able to pick up that kill, even Boss was able to go and help his jungler to get himself into control. Well, never mind. We're probably going to see some little bit of an action here happening in the mid lane, as Boss is just decimating that Pantheon, but not going to follow up. But he has to go back to the base. What damage from that Wukong!
And that was a very...
What's the dragon?
Yeah, indeed, that's a dragon for Dragon Army. But I must say it was a very unfortunate situation for Dragon Army Onyx, because he was standing there on the lane completely without mana. And if Boss had his flash on, I'm pretty sure he would have dived him, and that would have been another kill for Unicorns of Love. That turned out to be fortunate in the end for Onyx.
Well, we know that Boss is just very good in that Wukong. We know how much does he love playing that Wukong. And it seems like he's going to help his jungler a little bit here to try to steal that precious farm from Karthus. But something I wanted to point out in before Boss just stepped in and said, I don't really care about what you're talking, I'm going to do it for you. From what I'm seeing right now, Dragon Army are playing it not only quite cool, but also very aggressive. And it seems like Unicorns of Love are a little bit stunned here. I mean, they're just looking at their opponents. This little cat that's just trying to grow on that lion, and like, are you serious? So I'm a little bit surprised here, because right now Dragon Army are able to pull out whatever they're trying to pull out. They play aggressively on all the lanes, so it might be possible that we see Unicorns of Love tasting their own medicine and maybe even losing because of it.
This is very possible. We have seen already how some players just start being too cocky because they're just too sure that they are able of anything in the game, and they get punished for it. And not just they, but the whole team gets punished really badly for their overconfidence. However, to be fair, I'm not really sure that overconfidence is something that will strike Unicorns of Love. However, I really might be wrong. Just look at this ultimate from Pantheon. Oh
but
my god.
It didn't really find anything, as this bot is playing it explicitly cool, but Cortex might be able to go into the yet another gang, and it might be a little bit of a problem for Team Unicorns of Love. But that's something I've been talking about. Santos is going to try to pursue Cortex over here to get something, but here comes Boss, and that is probably going to be a kill for Boss, as he's just absolutely able to burst down that Karthus. Maybe he's going to be able to get away. That might be not big, as Karthus trying to use his ultimate in order to pick up some more kills, but it's not going to happen, as Onyx is having a little bit of a trouble here, being trapped into Unicorns of Love, but he's going to be some more exchanges for both of the teams, so Santos is going to be able to escape for his life, but Gadget is getting picked up by Argonaut. And Dragon Army, what are they doing?
They are answering to Unicorns of Love, and they are answering and making the game go in the same directions for both teams. You can see them just picking up the pace that Unicorns of Love have in general for all their games, and they are probably the first team we have seen so far who are successful in keeping up with Unicorns of Love and answering them as if their strengths are exactly the same. But look at this, look at what's happening here, just how everybody is jumping up and picking up, just it's a ladder. Just one member of Unicorns of Love gets caught, but then the other one jumps in to help him, and then there is always the other one more jumping up to try to help him. But that arrow from Varus, can I just say, the arrow from Varus was extremely on point. Really good, really beautiful to finish that fight.
To burn his flash on it, but there's going to be some more trouble for Onyx, as he's going to be able to get caught in here, as Lee Sin wastes his dragon kick in order to get that kill for Unicorns of Love. And it seems like Unicorns of Love are going to try to pick up some more pace, as they're looking at Dragon Army and going, oh, you're so cocky, you think you can beat us at our own game? Well, try it, as now Unicorns of Love are taking the lead and going to be able to take that objective for them, and they are starting to be in the lead in the kills, but they're not in the lead of the goal difference, as it's not really that much of a goal difference, but still Dragon Army are able to be a little bit in the front of Unicorns of Love. And it is very interesting that both of the teams have an extreme good communication system in between them, because at the moment when Boss just burst in on that Karthus and made him go away, at the very same moment here was Pantheon to join the fray. At the same moment, he was listening to join the fray. At the same moment, he was Karma to join the fray. And it felt like never-ending brawl between the both teams, just looking at each other and going, I'm going to punch you in the face, and you're going to punch me in the face too. Let's punch in the face each other. As here comes Boss, just punching in the face. Here comes Listen, yet again. Onyx is going to be caught in here yet again, as they're going to pick up the kill. Not going to be able to secure that dragon. And Cortex just has to flash away in order to get himself away with that dragon, that second dragon for Team Dragon Army.
But that's
What's
also
the pace of that game?
that's also second pantheon for Unicorns of Love. I wasn't exactly sure what Arnex was trying to play out there, but it didn't play out for him that well. And I must say that Ananasik looks extremely confident on Lee Sin, but that's something we expect from this guy.
Very, very confident in that Lee Sin, but that Sivir just got picked up. Here comes Arnex yet again to join the frame. Might be able to do something as Cartus is able to hear him right now as Ananasi goes out extremely low. Not going to be able to get away because of that Ignite and because of the Q from the Cartus. Boss is trying to get some more damage on both teams of Dragon Army, but he's not going to do anything as they are able to get away with that kill.
I am just amazed by how equally both teams are playing right now, even in terms of objectives and in terms of kills and in terms of gold. There is such a subtle difference that it's not really making any big difference, but they're just going head by head. Like they are keeping up each other's pace so well.
I think the phrase you're looking for is toe-to-toe, but yes, I absolutely agree with you.
Thank you very much. Yes, that's exactly the phrase I was looking for. But we have some action on the top lane in the meantime, with Nomans taking a lot of damage from Aoyaru.
No, this is yet again in the very... Well, why are you going away from that? I wanted to see that as he's not going to die from that ultimate from Karthus. And point out, we have seen, well, never mind. I don't really care what we have seen before, because Santos is in a very bad trouble here as he's going to get away from that arrow from Argonath. What's going on that map?
I don't even know how to answer you. It's just so much action happening on all the sides of the map that it's incredible. This is exactly the game we have been looking for. You have to admit it.
I wanted to see that because... Look at we are witnessing somebody who's able to answer with the same pace, with the same movement, and with the same amount of aggression to Unicorns of Love, and it pays off. And I'm just absolutely amazed by the way Dragon Army know their opponents so well, even though Arnex have made mistakes and it costs some gold. 14 Unicorns of Love, we see this Wukong is a very big trouble. Cortex is going to be able maybe to pick up Nomans here. It is going to be true. Nomans is not going to have any kind of trouble in getting away. But still, he has to face that Anoharu on the top lane. And we have seen Anoharu twice being able almost to kill. But never mind, Argonath has to flash away in order to get away from that ult from Santos. Maybe I'm going to be able to finish my sentence. I will try to. I'm going to rush it. But still, we have seen Anoharu just being able to one-on-one Nomans on the top lane and almost being able to kill him, as we're going to probably see more of that action right now on the top lane. I'm sorry, but what is going on in the game? Look how fast everything happens.
This is finally the game we see where both teams are able to keep up with each other.
Well,
that's
never mind, as
yeah.
Santos is going to try to save his AD carry from that trouble, but not going to be able, as even Ananasik has to flash away in order to not die. Arnex and Karma are both extremely low, as Boss maybe was looking to try to pick up some kills for him, but it's not going to matter. As Dragon Army have pulled yet again the same trick on Unicorns of Love, and they were able to pick up that Sivir. That is yet second death for Sivir. She's not able to farm as good as Argonath. It's not very good a position for Guardian because he's just decimated by Team Dragon Army.
Indeed. Well, we finally have a difference in the kills, I must say. Finally, Dragon Army took one more kill than Unicorns of Love, and they're leading. However, they started slowly to lose in the gold a little bit, but can I just pay a little attention to the itemization of both teams, especially looking at Fiddlesticks up there already with the Spirit Visage, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
a little
you're
bit lost
absolutely
in the
correct.
old items already. But this is going to be a very good answer to a little bit less than half of the enemy team. I'm not sure what exactly he's trying to pick up, because right now on the top lane we can see him just decimating Nomans, but as soon as he goes to the team fight, I am not thinking that this will exactly pay off. What do you think?
It might be true, might be not, but here's a miss ultimate from Santos as teleport comes away, and here comes the Fiddlesticks in order to join the frame. That's going to be a 5-on-5 while Normans is taking a heavy lot of damage from Arnax. Might not be able to escape for his life, but that was a dragon. That is a mountain dragon. And Unicorns of Love are not interested to give that dragon away. Normans is extremely low as he's going to be Dragon Army going to be able to drive him away from that fight. Probably Normans is going to try to get himself back into the game. Fiddlesticks is trying to get himself outmaneuvering Team Unicorns of Love, probably not going to pay a lot of kudos to him, but Dragon Army are in the battle for trouble right here as here comes Boss with an amazing ultimate, and that is ace for Team Unicorns of Love. In just a mere seconds, they have decimated Dragon Army.
That was even less than a second in which Unicorns of Love managed to turn completely the whole team fight with the absolutely beautiful ultimate from Boss, and then Normans just going in and doing his job, because the amount of damage that Kassadin on level 12 with his itemization is able to give is absolutely insane, and that's exactly what we saw there, and that's exactly what I'm talking about when I say Unicorns of Love, because this is the team that needs team fights like air to breathe, because that's where they're the best at.
I mean, just look one more time. One little opportunity, and here comes Boss knocking up the whole enemy team as they're not able to answer with anything, and Dragon Army just go flat down to the ground while Unicorns of Love stay on top of the world and taking that first dragon that they so desperately needed because they were losing those objectives. I absolutely agree, but that's why I love to see games from Unicorns of Love, as they need those team fights as air to breathe. I need them too, and I love to see a good team fight. Arnax is in a bit of trouble right here, but Boss might be able to be punished for what he's doing right now. Maybe not, as here comes a second ultimate to save him from follow-up from that Arnax. Now Boss is getting a little bit too cocky.
This might be something that could end him potentially, but look at this Ananasic just living there at the Herald, and that's going to be another
trying to answer Unicorns of Love.
This is yet another tower dive, and they're not afraid to go there, and they're not afraid to follow him and get that kill, because they pretty well know that they can. And that's Unicorns of Love.
Santos is going down! Team Dragon Army is just pointing to the way that they are not done, as they're going to try to chase down Gadget, but at the same time, here comes the teleport from Wukong. That means there's going to be a little trouble as Ananasic is able to pick up that kill on Varus. This is a kill for Team Unicorns of Lovers. They have able to pick up the whole enemy team yet again, even though Dragon Army are pointing that they are not done and they're not surrendering to Unicorns of Love. Again, one little window, one little opportunity, and they're able to just catch on it and deliver that performance from them.
This is the second ace in what I believe is less than 5 minutes in the game, and that's absolutely incredible. But I must say that Unicorns of Love here are really good at what they're best at catching the enemy's mistakes. Because in the previous team fight, you could see that Aoi Harley was trying to flank the enemy team, but he was just out of any position, and Boss saw the opportunity to jump in with his ultimate. And right here, there was It's Cortez and someone else, you have to help me here, just being out of position too deep in the enemy mid lane after that, well, successfully picked kill on Santos. And yet again, that was Boss just coming in with the ultimate and using this opportunity to jump in and just take as much as he can. Not really taking much, actually, I have to correct myself here, but leaving the room for Nomans to take the kills. And he is exactly the champion who needs as many kills as possible, if especially Unicorns of Love want to finish this game sooner, if they don't want to make it into a long-lasting epic team fight after another epic team fight. It means that Nomans is exactly the one who needs the most kills, and that's what the team has successfully been doing so far. They're trying to give Nomans as many kills as possible.
That is absolutely true. I'm going to help you with that. It was Arnax that they have successfully picked up Santos, and I just want to point out that in the same moment, just look how well Ananasic and Santos were able to bait enemy team, as it was a wasted ultimate from Anohara, from Fiddlesticks, as they were able to secure preventing Dragon Army from picking up that Baron. And as much as I would love to see them to play with their food, because it seems like this right now, they have been able to score 2 aces. You're absolutely correct with that. I want them to do as many team fights as possible, and it seems like my wish is going to be granted, as it looks like Team Dragon Army are trying to bait Unicorns of Love into the team fight around the Baron pit, as they're going to make it look like they are taking this Baron. It seems like Unicorns of Love are going to maybe answer for that bait, maybe not. They're going to try and bait them into it, but no, they have decided they're going to use that opportunity to take the enemy inhibitor. In the meantime, Dragon Army are going to be able to take that Baron, but we have an ultimate from Santos, as 3 members of Team Unicorns of Love are going back to that Baron pit. Maybe they will be able to do some kind of a difference. Here comes Lee Sin, able to get into, and they have stolen that Baron, as Lee Sin is going to pay for it with his life, as Anohara is getting himself into the fray with that ultimate. But in the same time, we have Boss and we have Gadget probably ending that game, as they are going
on their
to
own.
pick up that Nexus. Probably
Yes,
they
and
will
this is
be,
the game for
even though
Unicorns
Dragon
of
Army
Love.
are not able to get there in time. It's a game.
This was just something. Oh my god, this is what we've been talking about. Unicorns of Love, well, both teams actually just really wanted to have one good push and just end the enemy team, and this is exactly what they did, because Dragon Army, that was actually a very smart move. They were trying to bait Unicorns of Love to that Nashor, because in this case Unicorns of Love had 2 options: just to try to go to stop them, or they could go continue pushing, and they would lose this Baron, and they would be really harder for them to continue pushing or even to answer, because there was also the next dragon going up. Even though it's not a soul for any of the teams, they both would have been ready to pick up a fight right there. But what Unicorns of Love did, they just pushed, and they had much more damage with Boss and with Severe than Dragon Army could possibly imagine, and they just ended the game. This is incredible. I am so happy we witnessed this game, honestly.
Literally shaking as I was looking at those last moments of the game, because all the props go to Santos and Ananasic,
Yes.
because it was a well-timed ultimate from Santos that just blasted himself into that Nasha pit and just prevented from more damage coming into that Nasha. And then Ananasic bravely joining the fray, stealing that dragon and granting even more damage for Boss and for Gadget. They have just decimated the enemy team. I'm not even able to speak right now, because I am so extremely happy we have witnessed that game. Because if you want to see professional team fighting in the summer split of LCL 2020, look at the Unicorns of Love, and you're going to have everything you need. They're going to just, this is a feast for your eyes, to feast upon these team fights and decisions made in mere seconds. I'm so happy that I have been able to broadcast that game. Honestly, I've never been more happier to see a game like that.
I am totally with you on this, my dear colleague. This was an incredible game, and I'm so happy that we witnessed it and that we were the ones to shoutcast it. All the kudos go to my colleague right here, Brilmann. I am Solari. Extremely happy to be here with you today, and really looking forward to the next games, and we will see you very soon in the next games of the LCL Summer Split 2020.
Thank you, everybody, and have a great day.
Have a great day.